Hello all Supernatural fans, welcome back to another video this week covering what's going on in the shop. So right now I'm standing in front of Miss Nadine's baby, which is named Castiel, and the car is coming along. We're almost done with this, the mechanics on it. We're just still waiting on some parts to come in. One of the parts that we're waiting on is a wiring harness that goes from, that runs the lights and stuff. And the wiring harness, this car was a Caprice, which had the corner lights, so it already had a wiring harness in it, except for when we do these cars, we do them like the original show cars, and those original show cars had a one-wire alternator. And so the new wiring harnesses that we get, and I think they're around 240 bucks or something like that, but it is set up for a one-wire alternator, and that alleviates the external regulator that is on, which is usually, let me come around here, it usually sits right in there on the core support. So that eliminates it, and that's how it was done on the original Supernatural car. As you notice, we've got the radiator in, the fan shroud, the correct fan blade. It's just kind of getting everything tightened up. We got the other belt just came in, so we'll be getting that on. We all, in all of our cars, we always put new battery trays in. So there's the new battery tray. And we also put in always the new washer jug and brackets and everything, just because those things are usually dry rotted out, or especially the battery tray, which has been eaten up with battery acid. So, but the car's coming along really, really nice. Like I said, just trying to get parts has been a chore in all of itself. So that's what the car is looking like right now. We still got some hose clamps to put on, waiting on the little air breathers. I had ordered some and they came in and they were wrong. That's the other part that's getting hard to do on these cars, that a lot of these manufacturers have updated their product and changed it so you can no longer get the old parts anymore. So, you know, like I said, so glad that, I'm glad that we're not going to be building these anymore, because the parts to match them to the show is just, it's getting ridiculous now. So sad that we're not going to be building them, because this is a really awesome car, and they're almost like production line stuff. We know what we're doing and we can kind of fly through them pretty fast, you know, but usually where the delays come are parts. The other thing is we're waiting on the interior for this car. So that's probably going to be a 2-month wait. And the in-course special car over here, waiting on for interior for that. We're going to go back over here to Cher's car. I haven't came up with a name for this car yet, but I'm thinking about calling it Sunny. And this is going to go back to the 60s, 70s, Sunny and Cher. But the reason for that is Wayward Son. Nickname for son is Sunny. One of Sunny and Cher's big songs was I Got You Babe. Babe is short for baby. So I don't know, I'm just kind of starting to call this one Sunny. But the big block has been put in. We have some of the parts here, but we are missing a lot of other parts too. So we're just going to kind of keep going on this one until we can no longer go on it. And then this one gets also, it's going to need interior. Also kind of what's going on, this car here belongs to my buddy Eddie and Angela, and they live in Holland. We've just kind of started the process on it. The chassis is actually going to be yanked out of this one. It was really rusted up, and we've got another one that has been all powder coated and everything, and it'll soon be kind of started process on this. Over here is Matthew's car. This is the 66 that we've had for quite a while, and we are trying to find a nice fender for this car. And once we get the fender, then things will be more operational. But we kind of, as you can tell, the car is like really dirty. I mean, guys, this is a body shop, so it stays pretty dirty in here all the time. But the 66, man, this thing had a lot of work done to it. And the dash has been somewhat dyed up, and we got some undercoating down on the sound deadener on the floor. But this car, and Matthew will contest, it was in pretty rough shape when it came in. And then trying to find, they make parts for a 66, but the problem is they don't make parts for really a 66 four-door. So it was a kind of a hard road to go down there. It's got a built-up 327 in it. Obviously, I get a lot of questions about the radiators, and the radiators that we use in all of our builds, every build that comes out of here is an ECP radiator, and they are based out of Chicago. The radiators that we use, I think it's 65 through 70 is the same radiator. I'm 90% positive on that one. But the radiators, and if you guys go back and listen to my other videos and stuff, they are the same radiator for the small block and the big block. These radiators are rated up to 750 horsepower. So this car it actually had a ECP radiator that we put in it, and so it's going back in. The new fan shroud finally came in, so yay, these are the big block fan shrouds, which are a little tough to find and they're pretty expensive. But yeah, here's ECP radiator, and there's the cap and stuff. So if you look up ECP on Google or whatever, ECP radiators, it'll be in Chicago. And I'm pretty sure the guy's name is Frank that runs the company. He's the guy that answers the phone and stuff. Super nice guy. And just tell him Rick sent you over. And but really, really great radiators. They're a 3-core radiator, and I guarantee you that thing is not going to get hot. It just, awesome radiator. I can't speak highly enough about them. So, but Cher's car basically needs interior, and once again, backlogged on that. So we're just kind of doing what we can with the parts that we have. We had this is an old Jeep. It was like the predecessor to the Grand Cherokee. I can't remember what it was called, but at least it's given Mike and Don something to do, because we're kind of a little bit out of a standstill with a lot of stuff because of parts and stuff like that. And right now, I would say the major Achilles heel is upholstery. And Terry is just backed up. So we have basically these 3 cars here that need to get to upholstery. And then we've got one in the back in the holding cell that's going over to England, that is owned by Steve Wiggins. It's waiting for upholstery. So we just got them kind of stacked up. Me and Mike did hang up a banner the other day, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this because of the glares and stuff, but I'll kind of walk up here. But my buddy, Super Dave, made this banner, and it says Supernatural in it, but the lights, the fluorescent light glaring on it kind of makes it hard to see, but it's a pretty big banner. And he had made this banner up when we used to do shows out on the West Coast we called it Stunt Car 4. And it was just a car that basically was endorsed by Jeff Budnick. And basically Jeff did a lot of shows with us. And so that was the official car that when Budnick did a show, Dave had these banners made up. And Dave sold that car. There's going to be a story on that. He sold the car, and he had some of these banners. He forgot he had them. It was actually in his car trailer. And he's like, hey, Rick, I'm going to send you this banner so you can hang up in your shop. And so it hangs up now back there. And we've had it for a long time. So here's a story on it. Dave had these banners made up. We did shows. And then Dave lost them. And he thought they were stolen. And I was like, really? Because I didn't see anybody walking out with these big tubes and, with these banners and stuff. And Dave's like, I think somebody stole them. Well, then come to find out, Dave found them. And he's like, well, I'm going to send you this banner. And I said, okay. So he sent me the banner, and there's a story on that. But I get the banner, and then I lose it. And I'm like, where in the hell is this banner gone to? Because it's so big. And come to find out, it was in the GTX. We had, for some reason, we had just set it in there. So we found it, and I was like, well, we got to get this banner up. So yesterday, I think, Mike and I put it up, and to kind of break the monotony of cars and stuff like that. So always a cool thing to hang up. I'll talk about another banner, and that I've probably never talked about before. At least I don't think I have. But it's the New Age Motorsport banner up there. And this banner was given to me by my buddy Ed out at New Age Motorsports, and they're in Monroe, Connecticut. And me and Ed worked together a long time, coming up with what I call the perfect 32 Ford 5-window. And we had a lot of man hours and discussions and stuff. And of course, this thing is dirty and is kind of, but this thing is exactly like an original 32 Ford. And I have fooled so many people with it at shows and stuff. And I'll go into more detail on the 32 Fords and stuff. But basically what I guess I'm coming to the conclusion of that I have a lot of great friends in the car industry, the business, that have really helped me out over the years, that have worked with me on what I wanted when it came, like Ed in the 32. I've got, obviously the people over it that work for Supernatural, like Jeff Budnick and stuff, that has helped me out with these cars. And I've helped them. It was a two-way street, and it was just that kind of that family thing. And talking about family, Jeff called me the other night, and we were talking about many things. And I asked him, how does it feel? He's been picked up with another show. I think he is now working for Disney on Turner and Hooch, the old Tom Hanks movie back probably, what was that, late 80s or somewhere in there. But they're revamping it, and Jeff is working on that show. And he says he's having a good time over there, and he's all happy and stuff. And I said, well, how's it feel not going back into the studio? And he goes, man, those guys were my family. That show did so much for people, and it was a pretty tight-knit group over there. And, he goes, I'm going to miss it. And that show brought me and Jeff together, and Dave and Jeff. Me and Dave have been friends for a long time, but I thought about of all the friends that I've made because of this show. I started out with Jameson Horcher down in Florida, a good buddy. I call him my little brother. He introduced me to Stephen Hornback, who has just become like a brother of mine. And then, it grew. And I've got Jason Waller and Claudia and Adam and Lisa and Cassie. And the list just goes on and on. My sister Jan. I know I'm going to forget people's names here in this because the list is so long. But I have this friendship, this family that is just crazy, and it's because of a TV show. I have friends, I have acquaintances all over the world. It's insane. And the other day I had the sheriff come out here, and because the lady that bought my car, which I'm going to be doing a big story on because that car is going to be coming in, her name is Lisa also, and she bought the car, and then she left the car here, and because we're going to restore it and fix it up, turn it into baby. Well, the finance company or whoever that she went through, they're needing things like, hey, it needs to be insured and all this. Well, she can't do that because it has to go through the Florida inspection, get tags and all that stuff. And the car's here in Kansas. So she had to send me this form. The sheriff had to come out and look and verify, yep, that's the same VIN, and sign his name and badge number and all this stuff to this form. And then I had to send it back to Lisa so she could finish out the process. And sheriff comes and he comes in. He goes, man, I have heard so much about you guys. And he goes, I remember when the parody was being filmed down here, and it was a crazy thing because when Hillywood came, and there's more friends, the Hillywood girls, I love those girls to death. They're sweethearts. And but when we filmed here, everything was kept under wraps. And we didn't let anybody know because we didn't want fans showing up, and this was supposed to be, obviously a big surprise and stuff. So we're outside of town, and we're filming, and there's, these crossroads sigils and everything spray painted, which was a washable spray paint, so when it rained, it just washed away. But it was also, I think, on gravel and stuff like that. But anyway, people thought that we belonged to an occult. And they were calling the sheriff, and he was talking about, he's like, man, that was so crazy. He goes, I got like hundreds of calls. And this isn't a very big town anyway. I think everybody in town was talking about it. And he goes, but you guys are the ones that do these cars for the show and stuff. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, man, I want to go out and look at them. And we were like, yeah, sure, come on out. And we were giving him a tour and talking about all these cars and, and everything, and showing him little details and stuff. And he was like, man, I am so glad I did not send out one of my deputies. He goes, this is just freaking cool. And then I show him the 32 over here and talking about American Graffiti. And he's like, where are you from? And I said, man, I'm originally from this town right south of here, Colony. He was he was originally from the next town down called Iola. And so Colony sits in between Iola and Garnett. And he's like, how in the hell did you get into all this Hollywood cars and stuff? And I said, I really don't know. It just kind of started out. I started doing things, and people always came to me because I am so anal about details and about building. If I'm going to build a movie car, I want it to look like the movie car. I don't want something that looks like it. I want, if I can't own the original, I want to have a spitting image of it. And that's just how it all transformed out. And one thing led to another, and I got introduced to people, and bada bing, bada boom, and here I am. I do want to say one thing. I talked to one of my buddies the other day, and he was talking about the people that don't like me. And I'm like, oh, okay, people don't like me. That's too bad. I don't hate anybody, really. And I'm like, well, that's just too bad that people hate me. They really don't know me. And he's like, well, everybody just thinks that you're in it for the money, and you're expensive and all that. And I'm like, well, we are expensive. I'm not even denying that, but the reason we have to be expensive is because doing this stuff is expensive. It's very time consuming. And if you're not charging by the hour or whatever, then you're not making any money. And if you're not making any money, you're not going to be able to do this. And lots of time and effort goes into not only Supernatural, but anything that I do, I'm going to do it to my very best ability. And if I can't match what I am trying to do, then I'm not going to do it. And so I apologize, I guess, for if people think that I'm just too expensive out there. And some people don't like me because I am very confident. Some people call it arrogant or whatever, but I always stand by what I say. And if you get a car from here, I promise it's to the quality that I accept, and I got a pretty high standard. But it'll also be exactly what you see on set or has been used on set. There's some things that we use that haven't been seen on set, but they're things that I know about, and I promise you, pull this car up next to Jensen's. If people go to the brewery, and I know there's a big thing, people wanting to get back to the brewery, but Jensen has his car there, and everybody brings their Impalas and stuff. Literally pull them side by side, and you'll just build like, yep. There have been a few little modifications that have been made, but also screen accurate, and that's another story for another day. But that's what we strive to do here, and it is a very time-consuming process, unfortunately, wish we could wave a wand and be done and out the door they go. So anyway, guys, there's the video of the week. Hopefully I will have something new to show. Hopefully parts come in and stuff, but and we can show one of these things running or something here soon. But until then, you guys be good, be safe, and we'll just see you on the next video, okay? Bye.